Hello and welcome. David Baker here with the Wisdom for Life podcast, and it is a Friday podcast where we talk about family, specifically lately marriage. I'm here with my wonderful, beautiful, sweet, incredible, amazing wife, Laura. Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Did I say all the things you wanted me to say?
Maybe I need to make a bigger list.
Bigger list, yes, make a bigger list. But anyway, no, she is that, and we have been married for 31 and a half years. It'll be 32 years this year, and in a couple weeks, I turned 55. Can you imagine that? 55. But my wife turns, are you ready?
56.
Oh, boy, 56. That just doesn't even seem
later.
right.
Yeah.
When my parents were 55 and 56, that was old. But no, 50 is the new 30. Anyway, so how was your day today, dear?
Well, I had a wonderful day.
Oh, okay. Why?
Well, because I just got back from a date with my wonderful husband.
Oh, wow. By the way, Pastor, did you tell her to say that? Yes, I did. Okay. Wanted to make sure she got the introduction right. We're talking about dates tonight. Okay. So, we're talking about dating. So, I thought it'd be good if she mentioned that. So, yes, we did just have a date. And so, by the way, my wife loves doing these podcasts. She's like, honey, can we do one like every day? She constantly, okay.
No.
So like when I say, hey, honey, we need to do a podcast, I usually get this whine. Can you believe that? Yes.
Not that bad.
So she's busy. She has other things to do, and she is not like the in front of the camera type person. So yes, on our date, we're doing a podcast. So anyway, but I think it'll be helpful. And like you said, it is on dating. So here's a marriage joke that I didn't run by my wife first because she probably would say, oh, that's inappropriate. And so we'll just wait until after and see if you think it is. So not long after the marriage, Tom and his father met for lunch. Well, son, asked the dad, how is married life treating you? Not very well, I'm afraid. It seems that I married a nun. A nun, the father exclaimed. That's right. None in the morning, none at night, and none unless I beg. The father nodded knowingly and patted his son on the back. Why don't we all get together for a nice talk tonight? Tom's face brightened. Say, Dad, that's a great idea. Fine. I'll call and tell Mother Superior to set 2 extra plates.
Oh, my goodness.
Isn't that horrible? So we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight, the intimacy part of it. And we will have another episode very soon where we spend the whole time talking about that. And we'll give you a warning before, in case you don't want to hear that or in case there are kids around. But all right, so talk about dating. First thing is just to date. Okay? Just date. Have a date. Make sure it's scheduled. All of the time when we had kids and kids growing up, Friday night was date night. Everybody knew it. Our kids knew it. Our church knew it. Our friends knew it. Parents knew it. Everybody knew Friday night was date night. Thursday night was family night. Wednesday night was Bible study night. Tuesday night was soul winning. Monday night was catch up. Monday night was date with the girls. And every night was scheduled and set. And people knew Friday night was our date night. And so people from the church almost never would bother us. And our kids would know. And we would know, hey, that was scheduled. That's what we would do. Now, if Friday night didn't work because we had something going on, then we could trade it to Thursday night. But we did our best to always have a date. Schedule it. Make it happen. It's such a big deal. I'm amazed how much we've talked about this through the years and how few couples actually date. What would you guess, honey, as far as couples you know and wives that, ladies that talk to you that actually have a scheduled date with their spouse every week?
I couldn't guess on that really, but not very many. I find out that not very many do that. I know our kids do it. Our married kids do it now, I guess because they've watched us. But I don't know how many I could say.
Yeah, I would say just guessing a quarter, if even that, of the couples have a weekly scheduled date. How come? We're already married. And what happens is you grow apart. and you don't have that special time, and you don't have the get away from everything time, and it can really create a lot of problems. And they always say you keep something the way you got it. Well, you dated, getting to know each other, and dated before you got married, and dated while you're engaged, and then after you're married, we don't date anymore. And it needs to be. When we didn't have any kids, we still went on a date every week. Stop work, stop college, stop everything else that's going on. Let's go out. Let's do something. Very interesting. You remember what our son said? He was 10 or 11, David, about dating. Do you remember?
He said, Dad, do people who aren't married go on dates? Because he always saw us go on a date, but he didn't know that people who weren't married yet, that he didn't know they went on dates.
Yeah, I loved it. It was so classic because, like she said, so many times the only people that ever go on dates are people that are dating and they're not married. And so my son asked, Dad, do people that aren't married ever go on dates? Because the only thing he'd ever seen is his dad take his mom on a date every week. And so why do it? Okay, that's not the number one thing, but boy, that's an important thing. We have 3 married children right now, and a couple more on the way, and a couple more not long behind that. And boy, what a great thing. We wanted them to see mom and dad sweet on each other, and mom and dad go on dates, mom and dad get away, because boy, life. How busy is life? You have 11 children, homeschooling, work, school, business people, all the things that are going on. If it's not scheduled, then you're not going to do it. And the things that are important, we take time for it. We schedule it. And if something gets in the way on a Friday, all right, we'll do it on Thursday. If something got in the way Thursday and Friday, okay, we're going to do it on Saturday. And many times that has to be done. But it's so important. By the way, it doesn't have to be fancy or super or crazy or expensive, unless you married someone like that. But it doesn't have to be. It's not about where we go. It's not about what we do. It's about spending time with the person. And so if you're super creative, that's great. If you want to plan these elaborate dates, that's great. There's nothing wrong with it. And I probably should have done more of that. But just being able to relax, I don't have to plan anything. I don't have to organize anything. But I just get to spend time with my wife. And so it used to be where we would drive to Franklin all the time because in town, in a small town, and every time we'd go on a date in town, we'd see 3 or 4 people that we knew, and they'd need to stop and talk to the pastor. And, by the way, Pastor, let me ask you this, and hey, I got a problem. Could you help us with this? And I love people, and I'm not going to shut that down, but guess who doesn't get the attention? Okay? Yeah. My wife doesn't. And so we would get out of town to be able to do that, and we enjoyed it. The drive on the way there, unwind, relax, and there was something always that we needed to catch up on, something we needed to talk about, something that's really big. But the big thing that it was there and scheduled. And we're going to go out to eat somewhere, and we're going to have that time of fellowship. And my wife is super frugal, so she always wants to go to the cheapest place, and I'm not. And I don't want to go on a date where I have to serve myself. I want them to serve me. I want to spend time with her, looking across the table, staring into her eyes, speaking sweet nothings. Anyway, all of that. But important to be able to do. So tell me, why is date night important for the wife to have?
Well, I think a wife needs to take a break from the kids and family and all that she's doing all day long, because if you have children, if you have very many of them, you certainly need to take a break from that, because otherwise you are just working all the time, and you're not spending, even though you're taking care of your husband, you're not really spending time just with him and connecting. And I think when you go on a date, you get time to connect, to talk, and just really, I don't know, I just call it connecting, I guess.
The bond and to be together.
That's it.
There's so many times that just, if all you are is doing things and going through life, you disconnect. That is the word. And so you're not connected to each other by the emotions, by the soul, by the heart. And so you need that time to refresh that every week. Now, we believe you ought to do that every day. We've always seemed like we've had a lot of kids, and so you put the kids to bed. It's always a time where mom and dad get together. We talk, we catch up, we talk about life or problems or what happened. We laugh, we joke, we pray, we cry, whatever the need is, and then to be together as a married couple. And so we believe that ought to be done daily. But there's something special about getting away, leaving the house, leaving the dishes, leaving the laundry. Because if my wife's home, she's going to be doing something like that. There's always something that needs to be done. But when you're away, then you don't. It gives the husband an opportunity, and really both of them to each other, to be sweet, to be kind, for the husband to open the door, to hold hands. Carson, our youngest, said, "Mom, I don't see you and Dad holding hands very much." Like, yeah, because we're home, and usually around the house, you don't walk around holding hands. But on our date, we do. Hold hands, walk arm in arm, and open the door. Those special things to be able to have that. And you should to be able to do that. So I think for that time to catch up, that time to talk, the time to get away, time to talk about problems or issues or children. This situation came up. Tonight we're talking about a situation with the kids and something we need to talk about and work through. And she needed to run by me, and the kids asked something. They should, let me ask Dad. And so we have time to do that. And there's nothing wrong with talking about problems or issues. That's what's on our heart, and it's real to be able to do that. I think something else that's important for date night is it automatically, quote, says romance.
Yeah.
Okay? Even if it's not super, you don't have chocolate and flowers and perfume and all that stuff, but it says something. We're going on a date tonight, and we are married, and there are expectations. Okay? I'm amazed, totally floored and amazed when I teach on this subject, and you look up frequency that husband and wives are together. I'm just floored. I'm shocked. I mean, couples our age that have been married over 30 years, if they're together once a week, that's a big deal. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. And again, I don't know who's listening and where you guys are at, but that's just floored to me. You're married. It's legal. It's love. It's supposed to be. It's the only. I can pay someone to cook for me. I can pay someone to clean for me. I can pay someone to do my laundry. But boy, there's one need that I have that only one person can take care of that. How important is that? And it's amazing how couples are not together. And so at least if there's a date night, there's an expectancy of we are going to be together tonight. And I think that's minimum. Honestly, I still remember the first time. I'm a young pastor in my 20s, and a man came. He's probably 10 years older than I was, in his later 30s, and he said, "Pastor, it's been 6 months." I said, "What do you mean?" "Pastor, it's been 6 months." I didn't know what he was talking about. "You haven't prayed for 6 months? You haven't, I don't know. He said, "Pastor, I haven't been with my wife for 6 months. Like, what? You live in the same home, you sleep in the same bed, and you've not been together, intimate, for 6 months? It floored me. And so minimum, to be able to have a date a week and to know, hey, we are going to be together. When you fall apart that way, you are setting yourself up for dangerous problems of infidelity, of immorality, or heart, or intimacy, or thoughts, or even if it doesn't go that far, thinking with other people, and it's just a bad thing. And so we'll talk about this more. We believe that people should be together a lot more, and every couple's different, but for sure, to be able to be together as a married couple, unless there are health issues, should be together a lot more often than that. So, date night, do you have it? I'm amazed how much I teach and preach on it. And every time I do, the wife's elbowing the husband because he doesn't do it. And our girls have said the same thing. I have dates with the girls on Monday night and have since they were little. And it's amazing how many times girls have said, "Yeah, your daddy preaches it and your dad does it, but our dad never does." And we say, Daddy, could you take me on a date?" "No, I'm busy. I'm tired. I have other things to do." And they wonder why they lose their heart. Same thing. Wife, husband, go on a date. "We're busy. We don't have time. We don't have the money." Hey, if you're not independently wealthy like we've been our whole marriage, okay?
Yeah, right.
What? We are. It's just laid up in heaven. We can't get to it right now. But I promise you, there were some times we were so broke. I mean, there was no money to do anything with. We didn't have money for gas to drive anywhere, much less go do anything. And so our dates for a while, they were in our room with a Bertolli's Italian frozen dinner meal. It was a little bit nicer than normal food. It cost a little bit more than the regular food that we would make. And so that was our splurge for the week. And so either she would cook it or I would cook it, and we'd bring it down to the room and we'd tell the kids, we're on a date. Don't knock on the door unless it's an emergency. Somebody's bleeding bad, little blood, don't knock on the door. If they're bleeding bad, knock on the door. Or if there's a fire that you can't put out, knock on the door. Besides that, we're on a date. Leave us alone. And we'd joke about it. But we were on a date, and the kids knew we were on a date in our room. And sometimes, hey, that's the money. That's what we had to do. But it was still time. It was still special. It was still a special meal. It was still time to talk and share and spend time together. And that's okay. We still made sure, even though we were too broke to drive across town and go eat somewhere, we still made sure that we spent that special time together. So any other thoughts for you on that as far as dating and how important it is for family, husband, wife? You've had to put up with me for 31 and a half years.
Honey,
amazing.
it wasn't putting up with you.
Yes, okay. So,
Okay, so just another thought. I know when you mentioned the, a lot of times fathers will lose the heart of their daughters because they don't spend any special time with them. And we see, oh wow, fathers are losing their daughters' hearts. They need to spend some time with them. And you've always done a date with our girls every week. And it was just small, you take them to Sonic and get an ice cream cone, or something, or a shake or whatever. And, but it was just spending some special time with them every week. And so you kept their heart all through those years. Well, the same thing is true with the wife. You get married and many times you think, oh, we're married, so this is it. But a husband can lose his wife's heart too if he's not spending any time with her. If she's so busy just all the time taking care of the children and doing the laundry and cleaning the house and doing the dishes and, oh, we got to do the homeschooling. And it's from morning till night that you're busy, busy, busy all the time. Then your hearts can grow apart from each other because he's busy with his job, you're busy with what you're doing, and you're not spending any time together. And so that's why it's so important every week to reconnect in a date so that your hearts don't grow apart from one another. I think it's real important.
Amen. It's amazing how many couples divorce after the kids leave the house. Mm-hmm. And because life rotated around the children when they're gone, the parents find themselves so apart and they don't have any common ground, and they did not keep their relationship. It was more just the family and with the kids, and they've grown apart. That's what they say. And we don't have anything in common anymore, and we're just so different, and there's no reason to stay together. And it's sad. It should not be that way. And I believe this is one of the keys, a weekly scheduled date. And again, it doesn't have to be expensive, but it does need to be time. That's the important thing. All right, schedule it, plan it, make it happen. Don't just nod and agree. Oh, yeah, I agree with that. Okay. When's the last time you took us out on a date? When's your next date scheduled? Okay. By the way, we ended up changing our date night to Thursday night because the restaurants aren't as busy on Thursday night. And then Friday night, the kids were more open to do a family night because some of our married kids could come over and do that too. And so it doesn't matter when you do it. It just matters that you do it. All right. So, hey, take her on a date. And she'll say, I'm tired, I'm busy. No excuses. We're going. And have some fun. Now, a lot of times my wife, when we go out, she wants to go disco dancing and stuff.
Right.
When, what?
I do not.
Really? Oh, that was my other wife. That's
right.
Just kidding. I don't have another wife. But no, we've never done stuff like that. But again, it doesn't have to be thrilling and exciting. Hopefully it's you. Spending time together. That's the important part of it. All right. Do dating. Have a great one. Take care. We'll see you next time.